Yeah, so I actually started first getting into cosplaying and going to Comic Cons kind of towards the end of last year, kind of around October, around that time. And that's when my friends and I discovered that there was going to be a Comic Con in Minneapolis, and there were going to be some actors from the Lord of the Rings that were going to be doing a panel there. So I mean, we had to go. So yeah, in terms of coming up with like a costume, the only thing I owned that I considered like cosplay material or like something like a character would wear were like these vintage ovular sunglasses. And the only two characters that came to mind that I knew wore sunglasses like these were Neo from The Matrix and Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man. And I haven't seen The Matrix, so I decided to do a Doc Ock cosplay. Yeah, as for cosplaying, when I first started, I had no idea what I was doing. I mean, the last time that I dressed up was, for the 48-hour film competition, I had to dress up a little, but before that, it was like probably Halloween 8 years ago, so didn't really know where to start. So I went to the thrift store here in River Falls and just picked out a couple of like longer coats. If you've seen the movie Doc Ock, he wears like a brown undercoat and then a green one over top of that. So and the coats that I picked out, they weren't even the right color. They just resembled what he wore, sort of. So it was very basic, very rough first draft of this costume. I didn't even have the mechanical arms to go with it yet, so those came later. I'll get more into that, but yeah, it was very basic at first. Yeah, so as the day of the Comic-Con started to like come closer, I started to think that I should probably make some mechanical arms of some sort, because Doc Ock without the arms is not Doc Ock. It's just a guy in a long coat. So my dad and I whipped up some very basic tentacles, I guess you can call them, made out of like pipe insulation and cardboard. And so yeah, I had my costume. I had the coat, sunglasses, and the arms. I mean, that's Doc Ock. And so when my friends and I went to the con, literally the second we stepped through the door to the building, someone wanted to take a picture with me. And then another, and then another, and then another. I mean, this went on for the entire day. So yeah, it got, and the attention that my costume was getting, it was honestly overwhelming. Like, we couldn't move 5 feet without someone stopping us. But and speaking of moving around at that con with the arms, it was very difficult. The arms kept bumping into people, poking them. I kept having to apologize. It was hard, but with the amount of attention that the entire costume got, not just the arms, I think it was the entire look, it was worth it. It was definitely worth it. So I have been to 3 Comic-Cons total. I've been to Minneapolis, Milwaukee, and Madison, so all within a reasonable distance. Not going to California yet, but I made some major changes to the costume for those next 2 cons. I got a more screen-accurate jacket and an undercoat, and I spent weeks constructing new mechanical arms. I would say making the costume is probably my favorite part of the cosplaying experience. Just aside from going to the con itself, but just getting creative and making something that other people will geek out over because they share like similar interests in the source material. It's just a really good time, and I myself am a huge nerd, and when you go to these cons, you're essentially just going into a building that's full of nerds that all share similar interests in comics, movies, TV shows, all these different characters. Yeah, it's just really fun, and you get to see these characters, these people that are cosplaying as characters up close, and you get to see like the passion and the love for just cosplaying and pop culture as a whole. It's just it's really neat.